This review will cover the case of the tragic death of Christy Mirack, and she was 25 years old when she passed on, and she tragically was a victim of homicide in December of 1992, and the case went unsolved for years until a genealogical service was used to finally find the perpetrator. And let me get some more information about this on the screen here. One moment, please.
Today, we are announcing the arrest of Raymond Charles Rowe for the murder of Christy Mirack from December 21st, 1992.
After 25 years, investigators make an arrest in the murder of Christy Mirack.
They were able to observe him with a water bottle and connect him to some gum that had been chewed, and they collected that.
New technology helped investigators crack the cold case with the hopes of bringing justice to Mirack's family after all these years.
Thank you for joining us at 5:30. This is our CBS 21 News special report, Cold Case Cracked. I'm Jasmine Brooks.
I'm Rob Hanrahan. In the next half hour, we'll show you how investigators used cutting-edge technology to create a DNA profile that led to the arrest of a local DJ. His name is Raymond Rowe. He's behind bars for the 25-year-old murder of Christy Mirack.
And we'll also take a look at the suspect's background and hear from people who knew him. But first, we hear from people who knew and loved Christy.
CBS 21's Courtney Highfield kicks off tonight's team coverage with her family's reaction to Monday's arrest.
All you have to do is look at these pictures to know the kind of person Christy Mirack was. Always smiling, full of life.
She is like a person that walks into the room and is so bubbly. I mean, she'll light up a room with just sometimes a smile that she had on her face.
These pictures are all her family members have to hold on to now, because the girl in them was tragically taken away.
She was a 25-year-old girl who was having fun, had her career, and abruptly was just taken away for no reason.
Rewind back to December 21st, 1992.
My roommate and I was leaving for work at 7:15, and she had just been out walking the dog, and she saw someone I never saw, a gentleman, come out of his car and get head into that apartment.
Christy was brutally assaulted and killed inside her Lancaster County apartment.
This tragedy that happened to her was not supposed to happen to her.
For 25 years, police and Christy's family had no answers as to why this happened or who did it. The last 2 decades have been excruciating.
Every day, there was always something that brought it up. You know, there was, whether it was something I was driving in the car, seeing one of my kids, there was waking up in the morning. There was always something you would think about.
And it got even harder when Christy's mom passed away.
That was one of the things she feared most of, is
And that's some background there. Let me advance this a bit. It's hard to get all this in here for a quick review. One moment, please.
Alleged killer has been caught. This whole ordeal is just very troubling. Live tonight in northeastern Pennsylvania, I'm Brian Sheehan, CBS 21 News.
Parabon was really our last shot, and little did we know at the time that it's turned out to be our best and led us to today.
How did investigators get to Raymond Rowe if he wasn't on their radar? District Attorney Craig Stedman says a new type of technology helped lead them to that arrest. CBS 21's Erica Such traveled to Virginia to meet the team that helped identify Raymond Rowe. She explains the process.
Jasmine, Parabon Nanolabs is a forensic DNA analysis company in Reston, Virginia. In the Christy Mirack case, they were able to take the DNA from the crime scene and trace it to a relative of Raymond Rowe's. But how did they get there? Take a look.
This is all very new, and we're all figuring it out as we go along.
Just 2 months ago, Ellen Graytack says the technology that found Christy Mirack's alleged killer wasn't available. But today, it's put 49-year-old Raymond Rowe behind bars.
And that's the perpetrator right there, and he pled guilty. Let me advance this a bit.
Who then builds a family tree using public records, census information, obituaries, and newspaper archives.
Find their parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and then build forward in time to find all their descendants and find who could this person have been.
Graytack says the genetic makeup of the unidentified suspect can then help narrow the findings, whether the person is male or female, what ethnicity they are, and so on. In this case, the genealogy pointed to Rowe. But Graytack explains it's not a closed case just yet.
They then have to go out and investigate to see, does this make sense? And also collect DNA from those people. So if they think that one of these leads is really strong, what they can do is collect abandoned DNA. So go out and find DNA from this person, watch them drink from a cup and throw it away, then collect that cup.
That's exactly what District Attorney Craig Stedman says undercover state troopers did. On May 31st, undercover investigators followed Rowe to an event he was DJing at a local elementary school. They observed him using a water bottle and leaving it. They also found 2 cups, one with chewing gum in it. They sent both off to the State Police Crime Lab, and on June 8th, they were alerted that the DNA they collected matched the DNA collected at the crime scene 25 years ago.
And here's a little more information. Let me advance this a bit.
Back then, kids could do that. And she and her 2 sisters went out there. She said, I'm going back to the house. I'm going to make some lunch for us and come back. When she got back, they weren't there. They were at a little different location. They came back. They found the lunch, her bike, not Michelle. They found her body later that night in the woods, but no suspects whatsoever until just recently.
And quickly, how did they zero in on Gary Hartman?
And that's another example of the cases being solved with DNA. Let's get back to Christy's case here. One moment, please. Here's.
Learn more about Raymond Rowe from several people who knew him, including a bride who hired him for her wedding.
The man arrested for Christy Mirack's murder was a well-known DJ. Raymond Rowe, or DJ Freeze, was hired for local weddings and parties for decades.
And tonight, we are taking a closer look at Rowe, the suspected killer, who was free longer than Christy Mirack was alive. He's been hired by hundreds around the world to entertain. DJ Freeze, as many know him, was born and raised in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. But before he was DJ Freeze, he was Raymond Rowe, a husband and father working as a shipper at a Service Masters in the city. He married his first wife in Lancaster in 1988. They had 1 child together, a baby girl. Shortly after, locals were introduced to his DJ persona when he became the resident DJ of the popular Chameleon Club, where he worked for over a decade in the early 90s. It was a pivotal point in the DJ's career. His name.
And let me advance this a bit, and that's a look at his background. One moment, please.
Rowe, now a suspected murderer. At the time of Mirack's murder, Rowe was separated. He filed for divorce 5 months later. Just months later, he married his second wife, a nurse. That's according to court documents. The man who landed gigs from New York City to Chile, picked up by police at his Lancaster home Monday and taken to jail.
A little over 5 years ago, we actually hired him for the wedding.
Megan Holloway hired DJ Freeze after meeting him at a Harrisburg bridal expo.
And let me advance this a bit more, and...
And remember, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. There are still a few things we're working to find out from investigators. First, how did Christy Mirack and Raymond Rowe know each other? Why was she killed? And will prosecutors seek the death penalty against Rowe? We're continuing to follow this story, and so can you on CBS21.com. You'll find a detailed history about the case, how investigators zeroed in on their suspect, and a timeline on what led up to Monday's arrest.
All right, here.
And that's a brief review of the case and how they tracked down the perpetrator. And it took 25 years to solve, as they stated earlier. And as you know, Christy worked as a school teacher. And everyone here should give Christy Mirack a final salute for her short life and her efforts and skills as a teacher. And let me get a final screen on here, and that should do it. One moment, please.